Right, it has been a record-breaking transfer window across many parts of Europe. Here to digest the financial facts and figures of all those deals is football money expert, former Barcelona marketing executive Esteve Calzada. Esteve, welcome along. Right, what are the headlines coming out of this window?
We keep on talking about record high. It's again the headlines. We've seen a record high in all the top leagues, with clear dominance from the Premier League that is getting this fantastic TV right income, which then flows into the game. But still, the news is like record high, almost 3 billion spending in Europe, plus 30%, and then all the leagues up from last season.
Okay, we can see from the screen there, increase in money spent, Premier League, a 12% increase. That doesn't really tell the full figure because the money involved is so much bigger than everyone else's, isn't it? How far ahead is the Premier League as far as spending is concerned?
Big time, especially when we look at the net investment, which is after deducting the player sales. We see that the Premier League in net investment is 5 times bigger than La Liga and Serie A that come right after. And that seems to be the case also for the future. There's no indication that this is going to change.
So 5 times bigger. I was interested to see that La Liga's spending went up by just 1% when everyone else was going up. Why is that?
We have to take into account that Barcelona had the FIFA ban, but they still managed to sign 2 players that will only be able to start playing as of January, and still it's 1% up, but still a record high ever. So I mean, sometimes we get probably too used to see increases and increases, but I take it as good news in Spain, especially considering the fact that now other teams are investing heavily. So it's not only about Barcelona and Real Madrid. So we see Atletico and Valencia also investing heavily, because also they sell very well, because they have new shareholders from Asia. So all in all, it's getting La Liga more distributed and more exciting also.
They were big spenders when they had Vicente Calderon and the Mestalla as well. But the David De Gea non-deal really caught our attention yesterday. Real Madrid only 10th in the list of big spenders as far as European clubs were concerned. We're used to seeing Florentino Perez going out and buying the Galacticos. So what's happened? Is this a change in principle, or is it a lack of finance?
No, I think they still invested heavily. It's just that if we compare to other teams, they of course invested less. We've seen the likes of Manchester City and PSG getting out of the financial fair play restrictions, so investing heavily. Also the Italian teams coming back to heavy investment. So it's not like they are much down. It's more the fact that others invested more than them, but still they're still in the top 10. We haven't seen Chelsea in the top 10. This is also interesting. But again, there's plenty of. Well, again, because it's a combination of other teams having invested much more because of different circumstances.
Okay, you mentioned Serie A. They've been a sleeping giant, haven't they, for many years? But suddenly, second biggest spenders, up 90%. Right. Why is that happening in Italy?
We've seen a renovation of the most important squads, namely Inter, AC Milan, also Juventus. They sold also for a high value. This is important also to say the net spending is around 100 million euros. So it's much less than the investment. And then also because there are new shareholders. AC Milan has a new shareholder, and all in all, I think as Joel said, is the sleeping giant, and we should see the Serie A coming up quickly with new stadiums and being around there to do good things for the game.
What about the Bundesliga? We saw that on the graphic as well. Normally we consider them very prudent, not very big spenders, yet they're spending up, as you can see there, 43%. So, just like elsewhere, are we seeing a shift in policy in Germany as well?
I think we also have to consider that the expenditure is a result of what you have sold. So we've seen, I mean, there's an important impact here by the fact that Manchester City signed Kevin De Bruyne from Wolfsburg, and right after Wolfsburg bought Draxler from Schalke, right? So just because of that deal, we've seen already a significant increase. Bayer also has done some renovation in the team, and the beauty of the Bundesliga is that it's normally very sound investment. So, I mean, if they invest heavily, it's because they generate revenues in parallel to that.
Okay, and finally, the most staggering figure, Ligue 1 in France, a staggering 228% increase. Right. How much of a force is the French league becoming then? Because we used to see it as not one of the dominant powerhouses in Europe, but they're increasing their spending and therefore the investment in it.
Yeah, they invested much more than last year, but still not the record high. They had it 2 years ago. We've obviously seen PSG released from the ban, which allowed them to go and sign high-profile names such as Di Maria, but still it's the fifth league, and more importantly, sales are much higher than purchases in terms of players. So, in my opinion, France is more of a player supply league rather than a heavy investing league.
A seller rather than a buyer. Esteve, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.